It's going to be a ton of fun. Fantastic show today.
So
Bill and Chris are probably like, OMG. Are they going to make it? What did you say, Little Pocket Hercules?
would Bird be the more pure shooter?
Yes, Shane. Yes.
Bird's one of the best
Is
shooters
that what you're
ever.
going for?
Hey, how about in
Magic couldn't shoot at all.
in my household?
Yeah.
My 7th grader hit 2 of his top 5 favorite players
Mhm.
are guys that played in the 80s and 90s.
Guys that he never even saw.
That he lives on YouTube watching,
Who?
which are Larry Bird and Allen Iverson.
Ooh, Iverson's a tough one for me.
Yeah, volume. You hate volume. Why? Unless you're pushing 238,000 pounds in your weight room, you hate volume.
No, so it's well, even when I was lifting, I didn't like volume lifts a lot. I was a power lifter. That means anything
shoot.
more than 3 reps is cardio.
Oh.
No, I struggle with Iverson a little bit because
He has 0 sense.
because of the inefficiency. The inefficiency I struggle with a little bit with Iverson. I also recognize the talent was enormous.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where I really love the talent. I really wish he maybe would have used it a little different.
Yeah.
So I can respect it without him being like one of my guys.
I understand.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
Bird's one of my guys.
I understand. What,
Like-
you guys used to hang out?
Oh, yeah. We would crack open beers after games together. Then we'd repave his mom's driveway. That's how we both hurt our backs.
Good call. Pre-back injury. Hey, great show today. Coming up, we'll talk recruiting with a guy that has an equally impressive beard, Mike J. Schaefer. It's not like my man Ravi Lulla here. We'll talk to the head junior J in our high school coaches corner, Josh Luedtke. And at 8 in the 8 o'clock hour, we will talk to Mike Sautter, who is training. Yeah, he's in this. He does a hilarious podcast. Chuck Mulligan, wrestler, follows wrestling, covers wrestling. I think he's hilarious. And they somehow got into this back and forth tip because they do a podcast together called Mike Chuck. And somehow they got onto this whether Chuck could take Mike down, and I think it's a minute. On
just
the
take him
mat,
down.
yes, 2 former wrestlers.
Okay.
Where you get the point for a takedown.
What are we talking about weight difference here?
So
Sauter's not a big guy.
He's razor thin. He's probably about 165.
You're giving him a lot of credit there.
I think 165.
Think so?
Now he still wears 28-34s, but he is I think he's about 165.
He's what we would call wiry.
Chuck's not a big guy either.
Okay.
He can't.
I don't know Chuck, so that's what I was asking.
Chuck's probably 5. I don't want to short him, no pun intended. Probably 5'7", maybe.
Okay.
5'6".
So he's really 5'5".
Yeah. So on Sauter's Twitter timeline, they tweeted out this little montage of them training, and
Okay.
Chuck's doing pull-ups.
Okay.
Sauter's doing this cameo with the black back screen kind of smoked out, not doing a goddamn thing. And already I'm like, well, one guy's talking smack in the gym. The other guy is not taking himself seriously. I'll take the guy that's in the gym.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know though. So over here last week, Mike came in and I was just teaching him, I like body control and stuff. And so I was teaching him, getting your knees to 90. I was getting in a squat stance and I was just doing not ridiculous like hard, but just things with body control. So he tries a couple things and he bends backward and all of a sudden I hear his back crack.
Oh no.
I'm like, yeah, I'm probably taking Chuck in this one. I mean, it was loud.
If you can't get into a body weight squat without the back going, we got a problem.
Well, and we were over at headquarters right around the corner over at Hurrdat. And apparently he was just walking flat level, no ice, no nothing. We're inside, controlled environment.
Yeah.
And he rolls his ankle.
Dude, I never felt the oldest I've ever felt is I stepped off a curb at Target and rolled my ankle. And I was like, what the hell, man?
Getting old.
I was like, am I 90? What is happening here?
Sometimes I feel like
that's the worst.
Yeah. At
least it wasn't flat ground.
I had a couple of good practices in a row this past season where I was playing our scrappy quarterback. and we were getting ready for North Platte, and you see how well that worked because they kicked our teeth in. But I remember getting out of bed the next morning, and the wall broke my fall. That's where we're at. Anyway, fantastic show. 590 and 1480 in Omaha and Lincoln. 888-638-4876. Shane Schillerberg on the ones and twos. Who we had a little mishap, so I think we better get that out of the way here. Shane apparently pulled something off the old table, and it smells a lot like red wine in here.
Yeah, that's because he spilled a bunch of red wine.
There's the mop bucket. There's by the way, is that little yellow push thing with the wheels? Is that the greatest contraption ever? It like rings the mop out for you.
It's and they've existed forever.
Yeah.
It's very
simple.
It's very. That's what I like. I like contraptions that are simple but effective, efficient. We talked about efficiency earlier.
Yes.
I like efficiency.
Yes, we did. So there is an aroma of alcohol.
Yeah, and not like fresh alcohol.
No, it's not you.
No,
and it's not me.
If DB or I get pulled over on the way home, it's it's the room that imbued us with the alcohol smell. We have not been drinking at 7:00 in the morning, even if it maybe sounds like it a little bit.
Do you like my sweatshirt?
I do. You're rocking the Nebraska Omaha wrestling sweatshirt. You talked to your guy Manning yesterday.
Yeah. How good is he?
Man, he's great.
I mean, Coach. That's the type of person. This is what I told you about Mac one time. Remember how? So people, oh man, I don't know why you like Coach Mac so much. But this is like 4 or 5 years ago, man, and we were just kind of off to the side, and we were talking, and it about things other than just basketball. And I'm like, you know what? I need to spend more time with that guy. He's probably not gonna like me, but I need to spend more time with that. And so you just develop. You're just like a fan, right? Because you like him as a person. That's how I feel about Coach Manning. He's one of those guys that if you just spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes with, you want 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. He's that kind of dude.
Well, so Coach Mac, I don't think is my biggest fan.
Coach Mac's not a Ravi guy? Well, are you a little too hard on the Jays?
I think I was a little too hard on him a couple years ago. When he stepped in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And I just want to say,
hey, how about how we kind of were on opposite sides of the spectrum with that?
Well, listen, I wasn't calling for jobs or anything. I just wanted some answers.
Right.
I was like,
remember.
Hey, if we could have a real honest press conference here, that'd be terrific.
Yeah, I remember.
And nobody was interested in having that, which I understand. Like the smart thing to do is just like make it go away as soon as possible. Yeah. But the honest thing to do is sit down and just let people ask some questions.
Always needling and prodding.
Not needling and prodding. I just wanted some answers. I thought that was reasonable.
You're wild.
You say something out of pocket. I want some answers.
Ravi, I think you're nuts. What? Talk to me. 888-438. No, I'm just kidding. By the way, Shane, are we doing this already? So Ravi co-hosts, and we have multiple callers in the first segment.
Well, it's because we went Bird Magic early.
Oh, is that what we're on?
I think that's the first guy.
All right. Hey, by the way, well, I'll just tell you. Let's go Wyatt first. Wyatt, good morning. How are you? Wyatt. Good morning, Wyatt. How are you?
What up?
Hey, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So I don't want to alarm Ravi, but it's okay if we call him Asian Wyatt.
I assume that was a self-assigned name.
Wyatt, who glossed that nickname? Was it Severe?
No, I actually came up with it, but
okay.
Severe just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, if it's self-assigned, it's okay.
Self-gloss, we're good.
Yeah.
Asian Wyatt, what's up, buddy? By the way, that salmon you sent me last night looked fantastic.
I mean, hey, the Costco salmon is great. Just throw it in the air fryer, and it comes out nice and crispy.
I can't believe that was at one time frozen. That was pretty good looking.
I'm telling you, if you're gonna want to eat in seafood, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you did have some green things in that fettuccine, though. That kind of turned me off.
Hard pass for me on the green stuff.
Were those peas?
Yeah, the little one needs to get some vegetables.
Oh, that's smart.
You can't put peas in fettuccine, my guy. What are we doing?
I got a 23-month-old,
Yeah, good point. You're trying to teach a well-rounded diet.
You're making a 23-month-old fettuccine?
Dude, Wyatt's big. He's a foodie.
Oh. Hey, she loves kimchi, man.
Dude, good on. Well, you are Asian. That makes sense.
Wow.
It'd be like if somebody said I like Curry. Like, yeah, Curry's good, man. I don't know what to tell you.
You know, I gave her some. I got her some sort of Indian sausage. Food in a jar, and she ate that up too.
Wow, we're not gonna make it.
No, we're not gonna get to anything.
Shane, is that the FCC calling? What's up with the bird magic discussion, Wyatt?
Well, because I'm trying to make some breakfast here for her, and then I hear that. I was surprised that with cream gone, that bird. Someone saying that bird is better than magic.
Yeah, that's me, man. All day. All day.
Well, if we're talking about varying shades, he's still the cream.
I guess, yeah, barely. I mean, not by a lot, but a little bit.
Hey, on the inside, look, it's about the same.
Where the sun don't hit us, it's about the same color.
We're so childish.
I mean, I'm a Twinkie, though, so, you know.
I don't think you can say that.
I'm not going to touch that one, Wyatt.
What is going on?
I bring it out to people.
But I mean, like, you know, if Robert Parrish is out, you know, Bird's not going to be taking the standard position.
You don't know that, though.
Oh, here we go.
You don't know that. You're telling me Bird couldn't play center?
Here we go.
I don't buy it.
Would he play as well as
Listen, Magic played center one time, and we all lose our GD minds about it. Okay, he played one game at center with like 3 other Hall of Famers still, and we're all like, "Oh my God,
let's not talk about playing with good players. It isn't like Bird played with bums."
I understand that everybody played with good players, so I'm leaving it alone. But you can't tell me that the fact that he was playing with 3 other Hall of Famers didn't help the fact that he was playing center. Come on, man.
But if any one of those Hall of Famers went out, he could take their position.
Yeah, but not all their positions at the same time.
I'm going with Team Wyatt on this one.
I understand that. You started on Team Wyatt's on Team TV. You started with Magic.
Oh, Wyatt, man, we appreciate the call. I'm afraid to take this next one if it's who I think it is. But if he's talking about Coach Prime, it is my man.
We didn't even start talking about Coach Prime yet. I don't know where this is going.
That is, well, he's in Colorado now.
Uh-oh.
Let's go to Tim. Tim, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Cream. Tim.
What's happening?
It is. Hey, Tim, how are you, buddy?
I'm living a dream in Colorado.
Yeah, yes. Are you out bumping around already? Where are you headed?
Yeah, I left work to go get a breakfast burrito, and now I'm going back to work.
And you're on Mountain Time too. So what is it? 6:15 there,
man.
A.M.
Wowzer.
Oof.
What's on your mind as Coach Prime is taking that state by storm?
This place is stupid. These people are stupid.
What happened?
I mean,
what happened?
They're not kind of stupid. They're just stupid.
The Nebraska fam plopped right in the middle of Colorado.
Let it all out.
In a buzz. What happened, Tim? What's got you all knotted up?
These guys, like, they're fine with everything being about me. And it's like they're leaning into this. They've got to be boosting this dude's ego by 100 times. And they all think it's going to go well. And they all think, if it's about him, it's okay because him is him and he is he and he's going to bring out the best and he's going to get ballers and they're going to do this. No, someone's going to have to come out here and kick your face through the back of your skull before you understand it. That's not how the world works. And I hope it comes early in the season. I'm in line for 40 tickets. I'm in line for 40 tickets. Damon, when you come out, I'll run you around. We'll get the best breakfast burritos within 50 miles of that crap hole town Boulder. We'll take care of you. I'll treat you well. And then I'm going to probably get in 35 fights that night because Colorado people don't know how to argue. They don't know how to listen to logic. And one thing they really don't know how to do is throw a punch. So I'm fine with it. And my mouth will be big. Wow. And I would just really like to enjoy it. All of my coworkers that are Colorado fans are part-time Colorado fans. None of them could even drive me to the stadium because they're Colorado fans, but they don't even know where the hell that place is. None of them can afford to go to the games because they'd rather spend their money on other things that people enjoy in Colorado. And I don't get where they get off having any noise coming out of their faces.
Oh, Tim, I can't wait, man. All you need is good toothpaste and a good breakfast spot. You know I'm your guy.
And a good shower.
And a little bath and body. Yeah, give me a good bath and body, man. I'm in there.
Love you both.
Love you too, man.
I don't love the other guy. Damon, I respect you. I don't know about Sneak Cat.
Tim, what I do?
3 reps is cardio. Let's make funny jokes. Nope. Damon, have a great day. New guy, good luck keeping it.
Oh, man. I don't even know what we did already to get this started.
I don't know.
I think you just bring it out.
I do. It's I bring out that side of people.
So listen, so Wyatt sent me this picture last night of some salmon that he Terrence, I am not messing with you this morning. I got some funny friends. Where is that pic? Now tell me if this looks, I should tweet. I don't know if he'll want me to put this on Twitter, but does this look like store-bought salmon to you?
No, but I've had that Costco salmon before.
Yeah.
And those peas look disgusting, by the way. I'm sorry, Wyatt. That's filthy. Don't do that.
Don't do that. You just told a grown man don't do that.
Just don't do that, man. Like, you feed the 2-year-old the peas, something else in a different. Listen, give him a little vegetable medley or something. Keep the peas out the real food.
Are you a fan? It looks legit.
No, it looks good. No, I've had the Costco frozen salmon before.
Mm-hmm.
It comes in like it's a whole like tail. I mean, it looks like a tail. It's probably the whole salmon. I don't really know how salmon look alive. I only know how they look on my plate. So it comes in kind of like this frozen like freezer package, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty good. You do that thing up right, you know what you're doing. It looks fresh.
Dude, are you in on how petty is Coach Prime? Did you see what he did yesterday? So they flipped the corner.
Yep, saw that.
McLean.
Yeah. And
he's in his hotel room, apparently, or wherever it is that he's staying.
Yeah.
And he's playing Lil Flip, the rapper. And he's dancing in his room. I'm like, he is gonna. You talk about leaning into it.
Didn't they flip him from Miami?
Yeah,
which is like
so.
That's gotta be
and
extra.
You saw the little back and forth between he and Cristobal too.
That's got to be a little extra chef's kiss for my FSU guy. See, I struggle with Prime a little bit.
Why?
Well, so I don't have a problem with a lot of the stuff he does. I don't know if it's gonna work. Like, I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so. I sit here and I'm like, listen, I love the pettiness because I'm super petty. Love it. He's an FSU.
Ravi Lulla, and I'm here for petty.
100% of the time. And I got to tell you off air something I'm doing later. It's super petty. But like, he's an FSU guy, so I like that.
Yeah.
I like what he was doing at the HBCUs. You know, I like that he got an opportunity. I just don't know if he can actually coach. I really don't. And I don't think anybody does.
Well, they won a lot at Jackson State.
They did win a lot, but here's Jackson State.
You could make the case he upgraded his staff, at least pedigree-wise.
Sure. No, he did. He got better staffing, and I understand that. But that's one of those places. It kind of reminds me of the UCF situation, is that if you get enough talent there, you don't necessarily have to be a knockout coach, and you're going to win on talent.
Ravi Lulla for getting my passive-aggressive shot in on Coach Frost 20 minutes into the show.
Every chance I get. And I'll probably take some aggressive shots at Scott Frost at some point during the show as well.
Wow.
At least it doesn't smell like margaritas in here. Am I right? But
that's pretty good. Because it sure does.
No, it's just red wine. It's so good.
I'm done.
But it's one of those things where, and it's not just a Frost thing at UCF. We've seen a lot of guys succeed at places like South Florida, UCF, places like that, where you can accumulate some talent. And if you're better, you can just be better than the other teams in your conference. That doesn't work at Power 5 schools. Everybody's got pretty good talent, except for the bottom, like 2 schools, which BTW, you just took over one of those bottom 2 schools in a conference. So I don't know if it's going to work. I like a lot of the things about him. I have no idea if it's going to work or not.
Well, if recruiting is part of it.
Oh, it's part of it, but it's only part of it. That's the problem.
He's definitely got that down.
He's got that part down for sure.
Dang, I think I just lost Oklahoma Tyler as a friend.
What happened?
Well, at one point he was going to be my partner.
Oh, my bad, Tyler.
You chose him over me. We're done.
Dude, Tyler, you know me a little bit. We cool?
Yeah, that's my guy. Coming up, we'll talk recruiting again with Mike, Jay, Schaefer, and a whole lot more. Flip a coin. Who knows? Coffee and cream. There's that guy from 24/7 Sports, Mike J. Schaefer. Hey, how cool is it? Look, his beard is better than yours, by the way. Look at that thing.
Whoa.
It is. I'm just saying.
It's like trimmed up and everything.
I was saying,
Shafe, you look good, man, isn't it? When did you turn into a morning guy?
I don't know that I ever turned into a morning guy. I shaved the beard. I no longer look like the caddy from Happy Gilmore.
That helps.
I'm about, I would say, conservatively 17 years younger looking once I trimmed that beard down.
That looks fantastic.
I got a haircut, but I kept it long in the back, so I've got a mullet going on just to make sure that no one can respect me too much.
Oh, no.
There's a little side view for you guys.
Oh, my goodness.
It's legitimately short up here, too. So,
oh, no. You went full mullet.
Hey, Mike J is all in. You're just all in this a little more jovial, Mike J. Is it because you're talking to two yahoos, or you got some good sleep knowing that Nebraska's got another tight end in the room?
I woke up at like 6:15 in the morning, and I don't even know. It felt like I was asleep for about 3 minutes. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with that phenomenon where you wake up and you have no understanding how you've been asleep for multiple hours. But here we are. The tight end thing is fascinating to me because, like, your head immediately goes to this idea of, okay, Nebraska has the number one ranked tight end from 2020, the number one ranked tight end from 2021. Like, this should be a big, big deal. And yet both of those guys have some real kind of question marks going into this spring, which makes that sort of fascinating as to how everything could play out. And of course, I'm talking about Eric Gilbert, who Nebraska received a commitment from yesterday, and Thomas Fidone, who is hoping to stay healthy here this spring and make it to a fall and then show off all the talent that caused him to be the number one ranked tight end in the 2021 class.
Hey, so a little 2-1 here. How do you think that matches up with Coach Wager, who's going to oversee that room? And Mike J, you could get another tight end potentially and a wide receiver for all I know coming out of this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know how it matches up because the fascinating thing is at Baylor they didn't really use the tight end at all, and then Marcus Satterfield at South Carolina, they had multiple tight ends that were involved in the offense. I don't know if it's a situation where at Baylor, like, they just used what they had, and whoever they had in the tight end room at that time was more of a blocker, and they were able to get more value out of that than through the air. I look at this team and I still sort of wonder who emerges besides, we expect Marcus Washington to really be involved as a receiver. I just wonder who else emerges as a pass catching option. And so having guys like Eric Gilbert and Thomas Fidone potentially as options, and you throw them along with some of those other receivers that we don't know a lot about, it just feels like you're sort of courting, potential, and you see how it plays out this spring. Imagine being Bob Wager and you're a high school coach that's moving up to the college level, and the room that you initially get to, you lose Travis Vokalek, and there's some real questions as to, who's going to be next. And then you inherit this guy and Eric Gilbert, who in 2020 had a fantastic year as a freshman for LSU. So, the potential's there. I mean, I feel like it totally changes the outlook on the tight end position for me.
Shafe, what do you do with a couple of guys? You got Gilbert and Sherman, both from Georgia, both really highly ranked coming out of high school, that you just don't really have any production from in the last couple of years, or a guy like Fidone, who's still here, that was really highly ranked. Like, how do you evaluate those types of guys, specifically the transfers, but these highly touted guys, these highly ranked, these 5-star, 4-star guys that we just really don't know anything about after they left high school?
Well, I mean, that's why it's so important for a lot of these guys to get here in the spring, and then you get the opportunity to see, what they can sort of give you. I think that makes it really valuable because you can see what they are versus the guys that you pick up in May. You're sort of just guessing that they're going to provide something for you. I mean, there's a lot of excitement about a couple guys Nebraska got last May, and at least one of them never saw the field at all because of an injury. And I think he even had struggles before the injury fully manifested itself. And
is that
came from Kane Williams. I mean, he came from Alabama, and there was a lot of expectation that was going to be a starting safety. because he came from Alabama, and it just doesn't necessarily work like that. And it's the same with MJ Sherman, and it's the same with Eric Gilbert. I mean, just because they're coming from a national championship caliber team or a national championship winning team doesn't necessarily mean that they're better than what's currently on the roster, and they still have to go through and prove that. And that's why getting those guys in for the spring is really valuable, because then you get the opportunity to see what it is that they could do and how they can help you early on, or what areas that they have to work on, or where they need to improve, or what sort of roles they can have. Maybe MJ Sherman just initially is a guy that goes out there for you on third down. Maybe he's not an every down player. Maybe he's an early down player. I don't know. I mean, so I think a lot of it just is the extra evaluation time this spring, for those guys. And then you mentioned Thomas Fidone, who's essentially had 2 non-years in a row. It's just I feel like we say this every spring, but it just feels really big. And especially when it feels like they're going to have 40 new people on the roster. This spring just feels really, really large in terms of getting a feel for what it is Matt Rule and this team can do right away at the onset of the start of his time at Nebraska.
Schaefer, did you feel re-energized, a different level of having to utilize all your resources? It seems like Nebraska has had a way with guys popping up on the radar that they probably have a good idea about, but seemingly are coming out of nowhere with almost little to no previous information. Is that challenging or exciting? I talk about guys like Jacob Hood or guys like that,
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing of it is, like, you're only in this business, you're as good as the information that you have. We're still very much in a situation where we're learning about these coaches and developing, those relationships and everything else. And also the transfer portal is secretive. I mean, these guys don't do interviews. These guys don't talk as much prior to what they're doing. It's far more of a, keep it close to your vest, because your first option may not be available to you, even if you wanted it. And so I think because of that, information is a little bit more scarce. You have to find the people that you can trust. They have to decide whether they can trust you. And that's a big aspect of all of it too. Because there's sometimes you hear things and it's basically like, hey, we don't want this out yet. You know it. And maybe it goes nowhere. But you have to also prove to the people when you're trying to develop sources. So it's been interesting. I would say part of it for me is the difficulty of figuring out how many players Nebraska is going to take in this 2023 class, and then weighing that against the fact that they're already nearly 10 over their number as it is right now. And then they keep getting more and more names popping up. And so then I'm sitting there and it's like, are these people really going to take 40 new players on an 85-man scholarship limit? Like, how does this work? And so a lot of it to me is I didn't expect as much activity these last 2 weeks as we've gotten. And it's a bit of a learning lesson for me. Like I sort of made some assumptions that turned out to be fairly faulty. So my head is spinning a little bit when the fact that they have 5 more visitors coming in this weekend, potentially more than that, and seemingly a great shot with a lot of these guys.
Schaefer, we've got some guys coming in this weekend. Who do you like in terms of guys that you think Nebraska could secure a commitment from sometime here in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, so coming in this weekend, you have Demetrius Bell, Jeremiah Charles. There's a lineman from California whose name I'm blanking on. Ishmael Smith Flores, the tight end that Damon mentioned from Martin High School, where Bob Wager used to coach. And then you have Jason Maciazak coming from South Dakota, where he's already signed.
First time he's seen the campus, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's that's a kind of an interesting group. Demetrius Bell kind of fascinates me because he's telling everyone his sort of final grouping is Alabama, Kentucky, and Nebraska. And at least 2 of those teams don't seem like one of those teams. So that has me a little bit curious. Jeremiah Charles is another one of those guys from Martin High School where he clearly got a big stamp of approval from Bob Wager, and they're looking to add to this wide receiver room. So he's someone, I'm kind of curious about. It's a North Texas offer and a Nebraska offer. This feels like another Bryce Turner bet on the evaluation, bet on your track record of developing, because that seems like a guy that's going to commit, right? Because where else, if this is a full offer and it's widely open to him, he's going to take that. And so I'm curious to catch up with him. And then the defensive lineman whose name I'm just blanking on, if you guys have it in front of you, please help me out.
Su'a-Lafotu?
Yes. He was committed to Washington.
Schaefer.
He's got a visit set up after this to go back to Washington. But this is a guy, I think 6'4", 285. Like, this is the sort of guy that Nebraska under Tony Tuioti had chased for a while and just never landed. Could they land somebody like this that, could be a 3-4 defensive end, or could be a 3-4 nose tackle, or it could be a 4-3 defensive tackle? He's a sort of development defensive line prospect that I feel like they've missed out a lot on. And I would love to see them add that to a Riley Van Poppel and to a Vincent Carroll Jackson and that kind of thing that they have going on the defensive line. Of all the visitors, he's the one that I'm probably most intrigued by.
Fantastic stuff, Schaefer. Enjoy the Friday and the weekend.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, buddy. Coming up, head junior J, Josh Luedtke, after this.
Rogers and Benning will be back in 3 minutes. Rogers and Benning will be back in 2 minutes. Rogers and Benning will be back in 1 minute. Rogers and Benning will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hail Varsity Radio.
Welcome back. It is Friday, which means Coach's Corner, and I'm doubly excited about this one. Just saw them the other night as they got ready to take on the Junior Mustangs. The head Blue Jay over off of Western, Coach Josh Luedtke. Buddy, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Damon. Good morning. Good. It's a good Friday, so happy to be up and moving upright, and hopefully have a good day.
Hey, tough schedule, kind of out of the gates. A little bit of a different team for you. You played Millard North, you played Gretna, you saw East, you actually played Gretna twice. You open on the road at Kearney, right? Do you like the way that the schedule has? You played Bellevue West. You like the way that the schedule has kind of broken out for you to figure some things out early, or would you have liked to have eased into it a little bit more?
I like the way it was set up. I mean, we don't get the luxury of putting the schedule together however we want it. But I mean, obviously opening up in Kearney, playing North Star, playing Lincoln Pius, who beat Lincoln Southwest twice now.
Yeah.
Playing Lincoln, East, I think I said that. But then, you go to the Metros. I mean, most people probably didn't think we were going to get more than 2 games, but to play Gretna, Millard North, Bell West, play Gretna, Millard North already twice. We got Bell West coming up, Lincoln Southeast, we
West
got
Side.
Central, and we got that other school over there on 84th coming over here Tuesday. West Side, yeah, that's it. And then you got to play Rockhurst. I mean, it's just no easy games. Every game is a challenge. I mean, I'm sitting here looking. Our last game of the year, and I don't look too far ahead. Our last game of the year is at Millard South. Now, tell me, that's a tough game, and you know that, especially
they grind
if they
you.
get their guys back healthy.
Yep.
Playing at Millard South against Millard South, that's no easy task, and that's just the way the Metro is. Now, there are probably some games you look at and you're like, boom, check. That's a game we win, but for the most part, if you're not one of the upper echelon teams, every game is going to be a journey.
Coach, you've played a ton of close games this year, both been on the winning and losing side of that. How does that prepare you kind of for this final stretch and then getting in to February when you get into districts? And do you feel like that kind of puts a strain on you at all mentally, or do you like the way it prepares you?
I mean, I'd rather play close games and tough games every day than have a 30-point blowout, and then after the game, your coaches get together and you say, God, did you really get better today? So I mean, I would rather play the close games and try to learn how to win those close games. I wish I thought we had a chance to finish out the game on Tuesday, and we just didn't do that. Now, part of that is give credit to Millard North. They made some big shots. They took away some of our top scorers in overtime and made some other guys try to make some buckets. But, that was a game that, when you look back and you look at how we played and how we missed some opportunities, and not just that game. I mean, I always talk with my team, like we had a chance to beat North Star, and if we make a play or two, we probably win that game. And same with Lincoln East, and same with the first Gretna game. I mean, for a while in the first Gretna game, it was 45-40. We got 7 stops in a row, and we couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. And, you get 1 or 2 scores that changes the game. And I feel like we've been in every game. And this is, I feel like this year, this team can really, we can beat a lot of teams, but if we don't come ready to play, we can also lose to a lot of teams. And we've told our guys this, our margin of error in winning and losing is razor thin this year at Creighton Prep. We've had some teams in the past that you can make some mistakes and overcome them. We can't make mistakes with this group and overcome them like we have in the past. We've got to be on our A game, and we've got to be disciplined, and we got to play team basketball. And if we do that, we got a chance. But if we're not disciplined and we play some selfish basketball at times, that margin of victory is razor thin for us, and that could cost us.
Yeah, I was talking with one of of my colleagues in the media, and he's done this for a long time. And I said, we were out in the hallway Tuesday night, and I said, I feel like I've said this once the last 3 years, but I think this time, Coach Luedtke, I think it's factual. We both felt like, at least up to this point, this has to be your best coaching job, because what we decided at the end of singing your praises was, you're a guy that likes to kind of edgy, very competitive. It's kind of your team and Omaha Creighton Prep against the world. But this year, you're like giving the keys to an already dangerous coaching mentality, right? Because you are a little overlooked because this isn't a vintage prep team. Did that recharge you, or is this just business as usual, given your temperament?
I mean, it's just business as usual. I mean, I try to be low key, but as you know, I mean, I don't know too many dudes that are as competitive as I am. And I mean, I know that comes off like I'm a lunatic sometimes or maybe crazy, but I just don't like to lose. And I can tolerate, and I tell my team all the time that I can tolerate losing if we play well and we compete, we work hard. I cannot tolerate losing with lack of effort and bad decisions. And I knew going into this year that this was going to be, we needed to really coach this group up. And we've got great kids. I really like these guys. We don't have that guy that everybody says, man, he can take over a game and he can make shots. We have guys who think they can do that, and that's a good mindset to have. But at the end of the day, like, we have to be really smart and we have to be careful about not trying to do anything out of character for us. And we always tell our guys this: do what you do well, and don't try to make the superstar plays. And when we've done that, we've been really tough to beat. When we haven't, we've opened that door to be beat because we've taken some really bad shots. And, you know, I was mad the other night after the game on Tuesday. I mean, you can't be 8 of 15 from the free throw line, and you can't be 15 of 29 from in the paint. Like I told Stu the other night, we don't take a lot of mid-range jumpers to where they're you know, between the paint and the 3-point line. We missed 13 or 14 shots point blank range because either one, Millard North did a great job of contesting, or we just weren't focused enough of putting the ball in the hoop. And that's been, you know, a problem in practice. I mean, we started practice yesterday in an uncontested layup drill, and we missed 4 uncontested layups. Like, that's the story of our season right now. When we put the ball in the hoop, and I know this is easy, but like when you score, things are good. But when you miss layups, you're not giving yourself a chance to win against good teams. And there's some really good teams. I mean, I'm thankful I'm not in Lincoln playing. Lincoln
how about that gauntlet? They just eat each other up.
I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm kind of loving life a little bit because I'm sitting here and I know we've got some tough games, but I'm like, man, like we might be able to sneak out and host the district, and that's our goal, host the district. But also, you know, we might also, you know, if we have to go on the road for the first time in 8 years for a district, like let's try to get into a district that's winnable. Let's not find ourselves going to seed 1 and have to win against the top seed and probably most likely undefeated team in the state to try to go to state, because you know how that goes. I mean, you might be able to knock them off once out of 10 times, but with that team, I mean, they might win 100 games in a row.
Yeah, we're talking with the head junior J, Josh Luedtke, one of the handful of coaches. There's 3 to win multiple state championships since 2010. That list is short. The other is one of the schools that he's talking about at Bellevue West. But let's go to the other that has 2. It's his son, who you have coming up on the schedule in Central, and Coach Chubbuck Jr. was senior on staff. Before we let you go here, Coach, in the last couple minutes, what concerns you about Omaha Central is this is a nice little rivalry as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you're playing a Chubbuck coach team, you know they're disciplined and you know they're well coached. And they've got some guys that they've gotten better from day one. And you look, and they played some of these teams very close. And they were close to Miller North. They were close to beating Bryan in the Metro Holiday. They're just
played Lincoln High tough.
Well-coached team, and that concerns me because I know how we can be locked in at times, but I also know how we can be semi-unfocused at times. We cannot be unfocused tonight if we're going to try and get a W against Omaha Central.
Coach, let me sneak in one more real quick because he's drawing the attention of a lot of folks now. We know about Rishel. He can shoot it. PJ can get downhill. But how about Dylan Clausen's emergence as kind of a post presence and can be a little stretchy at times too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we knew this summer that Dylan was going to be one of our top players. We really feel like he has kind of the inside-outside game that we've been lucky to have with our 4 or 5 guys. I think he's shooting over 40% from 3, and he's around 68% from 2. He reminds me, probably not as athletic as a Colorope or AJ Rollins, but those guys were very efficient. And they were guys that would score 15 to 20 points on 6 shots, 7 shots, get to the free throw line a couple times. They don't need 25 shots to score 20 points. So I've been really happy with Dylan. I talked to the team after we lost to Millard North, and one of those things that I told them, like, that dude needed to touch the ball in overtime. And I think he only touched it once. And when you have a guy who's 7 for 8 from the field, you got to get him the ball. And he was doing a very nice job of sealing in the post and being creative around the rim. That he needs to touch the ball. And, they always say if you have an inside game, it's going to really open up the outside game. And I think our guards have to trust that if Dylan can create his shots and score inside, it's going to open up the perimeter for not just PJ and Joey, but for our other guards who can really shoot it. And they just got to trust the process and trust each other. And, usually by now we're already at that process of we trust everybody. But I think we're still trying to get everybody to trust one another that, hey, if I throw the ball to the right wing, I might go left, but I'm eventually going to get the ball back. I have to trust that that's going to happen. And sometimes I don't think we trust each other.
One of the best in the business, and he's a buddy. Coach, best wishes, man. Appreciate your time. Best wishes.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go back, take a nap, maybe get in a run with Love for the Game. Or I think it's a Miracle type day. I think we'll watch Miracle today.
Oh, man, all love. That is Coach Luedtke. Back after this, hour number 2 on Coffee and Cream.
Rogers and Benning will be back in 2 minutes. Rogers and Benning will be back in 1 minute. Rogers and Benning will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream on Hail Varsity Radio with Andrew Rogers and Damon Benning.
I'm super happy with. I'm so happy together. I'm super happy with Ravi Lulla, who is filling in for my man AR-15, Andrew Rogers.
Yeah.
Who is heading back to St. Louis. How'd you like this schedule?
Well, so they're getting married in St. Louis?
Yes.
Ooh.
Closing on a house.
Ooh.
Moved.
Yeah.
All in the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
Going to pick out a venue to Old Dominion.
Old Dominion.
Picking out a
Is that where he's at?
Yes, he's at Old Dominion. No.
You're so
I mean, what kind of venues they got at?
Wait, what kind of what? What kind of what?
Venues?
I thought he said venues.
Vignettes?
Vignettes? What kind of vignettes they got at?
Beignets? What?
Beignets, yeah. Hey, what kind of beignets do they have?
I love a good beignet.
Oh, yeah. My Lord. Okay, so.
Venues. Andrew,
venues,
Rogers,
yeah.
St. Louis.
Is
what
it
do we
Ham or Pan?
So he
Is it Clarence or Clarence?
Clarence or Clarence?
Ham or Pan? So he closed on a house.
Yeah.
Moved.
And now he's looking for a venue.
Oof.
All in the last 96 hours.
That's a rough 96 hours. I like to spread out my life events a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot that's happening like right in a row. My brain can't really.
How about this
that.
week? And I kind of felt bad. I'm giving him this kind of ghost hug. I'm like, hang in there, man. At some point, it will even out. Right now, it feels like you're drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah, no, he's trying to keep his head above water right now.
Yeah.
And then when he moved, I mean, they were on it like as soon as they got into the house, they were unpacking like right away.
Yeah.
Like setting everything up like all the way through the house. I mean, not even waiting a day, just like relax there for a little bit.
I don't understand the unpack right away people. I'm not about that life.
Oh.
Are you an unpack right away?
What's my personality?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Dude, the O's, I don't like when drawers are left open, let alone.
No, that's different though. That's
boxes
a hazard.
Not being unpacked.
Drawers left open is a hazard, man. Somebody clip a hip or something with that,
right?
But listen,
just put the socks in a little further.
Close
the drawer.
Just happening. No, the packing. Listen, I get it, I do. But by the time I'm done moving stuff into a new place, I'm done for the day.
Shutting her down?
I'm done. Shut it down. I will get a TV out and something to sit on and the Wi-Fi.
So has streaming made moving a little more enjoyable? Because I told Drew down the other day, I said, Wi-Fi and time to move, like closing time, were within an hour.
Yes, 100%.
So as long as I had Wi-Fi,
yes.
Hey.
Everything else you can kind of figure out.
Yeah.
As long as I have my internet.
As long as I can stream.
Yes.
I'm good.
100%. You don't have to like call the cable guy out and have satellite set up or whatever. It's like I just call. They push a button on their computer. My internet service is now at the new location.
Yep.
Nobody had to come over or do anything.
Yep.
And then I just plug it in the wall and it's like, hey, I got everything now.
Hey, heating, cooling, all that not set up yet. Wi-Fi. Bam, high five. No,
I mean, you should probably call the utility companies, make sure.
Little bit.
Just make sure.
But hey, are you you don't strike me as a nervous guy, right? You and Happer have that kind of this irrational confidence, which is one of the things I think makes him funny.
Yeah.
Are you nervous with the Niners this weekend?
Well, nervous is so it's funny because I do have an irrational confidence. I also have anxiety, so it's a real nice spicy cocktail of emotions.
Hypersensitive and
yes, 100%.
Hyper paranoid. Yes. Okay, I'm sitting next to Coach Bellini.
Rude. I haven't called anybody the C word on a secret videotape.
Dude, that's my guy though. Listen, I'm going to bat for Coach P, man. He was a G.
He was. No, so nervous. I don't know if I would say nervous, right? Because I don't really know. It all feels like a bonus at this point.
What?
Here's the thing. Just think about
Hot take?
No, just think about it and think about it big picture here.
You're the fave.
No, I know. No, but step back. Step back from it.
Right now? Like ready? What do you want me to do?
Just take a deep breath. We're going to take a 30,000-foot view of the 49ers season right now. Okay?
Macro. I'm macro.
They're on their third string quarterback.
Oh, here we go.
Listen, they've got the best roster in football. Am I wrong?
When healthy.
Let's take the quarterback out of the situation.
It's the deepest.
Let's take the quarterback out of the situation. Is there a roster in football you'd prefer? Like if you get a pick for your favorite team.
Eagles are close.
The Eagles are a good roster.
Chiefs are close. Give me Von Miller back on Buffalo. That's close.
Close, but Von Miller doesn't get to come back on Buffalo.
Yeah, but with the Chiefs, you got Clark, you got Karlaftis.
You like the Chiefs defense as much as you like the 49ers defense.
I don't love the Chiefs defense, and I was just having this. I haven't even replied back to him yet, though. I got a good Twitter buddy. He got my attention. This is probably 3 or 4 years ago because he has X's and O's in his Twitter handle.
Mm-hmm.
So that immediately gets my attention, right? Because I think that's a game changer if we can talk scheming. And he sent me a message this morning, and he said, "Gosh, you know why yesterday did you say you were worried about the Chiefs pass rush?
Mm-hmm.
They're second in the NFL." So what does that say to me? What don't I like, Ravi? I don't like stats in a vacuum,
mm-hmm.
right? So yes, they're second in the league.
Like context,
and I like who they're going against. Mm-hmm. So the fact that
trends.
So the fact that the Niners only have, or the Chiefs, because I'm looking at their stats yesterday as I'm saying this, 9 sacks in the last 6 games is what we tallied. You tallied up, right? And only 3 in the last 3.
Yep.
Right. That's not going in the right direction.
No. And it's trending in the wrong direction from 6 to 3
because it's going down.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I'm thinking, well, yeah, that's cool. You're second in getting after the quarterback in terms of sacks, but
it's front end heavy.
The last 6 games, you have 9 sacks in 6 games.
That's over a third of the season. That's not a small sample size.
So I'm like, okay, but it's not relative to why I like Jacksonville getting 8.5 this weekend, because I do. Now, having said all that, I love your roster.
Yeah.
But 65% of the time, that roster has not been intact.
100%.
So I'm like,
they're pretty healthy right now.
Yeah.
Pretty healthy right now, which is what I like. So you say if I'm not nervous, because I think the roster is a lot better than Dallas's.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
I'm not going to die on that hill.
I'm not going to die on that hill, but I think the roster is better than Dallas's.
That they're close, but Dallas's top 22 are pretty good.
That's fair. Here's the thing that is the total unknown that
actually 23 if you count Pollard.
Are you counting Maher?
That was a joke. I was just
giving him a hard time.
I was just at Centennial High School
last
weekend.
Giving him a hard time.
In Utica, so I am all in on Maher vibes.
Listen, Maher's great. I felt terrible for him the other night. But so here's the wild card question.
By the way, shout out to Centennial. Did your state finals in 2018.
There you go. There's no way to know. And this is basically, in my opinion, going to be the difference in the game. Is this who Brock Purdy is?
First half Purdy or second half Purdy?
Second half Purdy.
Or first half of the season Iowa State, or Brocktober Purdy at Iowa State?
Brocktober. No, is what we've seen. Is what we've seen as a cumulative over his 6 games of starter.
Yeah.
Is that who he is? Or is there another shoe left to drop? Does somebody, is there enough tape on him now you get scouted? Are we past that point? I don't know. That's the part that I don't know, that nobody can really know. Because if this is who he is, the 49ers are winning the Super Bowl. I'm sorry to tell you.
So the one thing that I do like about the Niners, and I have the Bills playing the Niners, even though full disclosure, I still think Kansas City is.
I had Niners Chiefs before the season.
I had Bills and was it Niners? Maybe. can't remember. I can't remember who I had in the NFC. But the reason I didn't pick the Chiefs is because I thought their road would be tougher if they drew the Bengals. So I don't love the Bills pick because I've said all year long, I'm riding with my homie.
Josh Allen's a little loose. A little loose with the football right now.
Yeah, turns it over.
A little loose with the football right now.
Why do they get away from the run?
No idea.
I drew down a tweet the other day where their average in the fourth quarter against the Dolphins, they were throwing the ball vertically like 20-some yards down the field.
I don't get it. I don't understand it at all.
Listen, you fall in love with that right arm. It's cool.
Because you see one and you're like, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's real pretty.
And there are times when Allen is rolling, he gives you the illusion that he's unstoppable.
He gives you the illusion that he's Mahomes, and he's not in terms of the passing. Now, he brings other things to the table in terms of his mobility. And Mahomes is pretty mobile, but he doesn't run like Allen does.
The other thing I love about Mahomes is he has the whole world fooled. Because coming into the league, I thought he was a fantastic athlete.
No, he's not at all.
But he is, though.
I mean, he is.
Great baseball player. He can hoop.
He's not a great measurables athlete.
Agree.
Which is a different thing.
But, he's the word that I love. He's functional.
Yes.
So until the toe injury and the foot injury.
He's a little bit of a Big Ben athlete. Like, he moves well enough to get around.
And in the same vein, when he moves around, he acts like it hurts.
Yes.
So you don't give him
looks like there's a
credit for what he is.
Yeah.
But you know what real athleticism is? Delivering the ball wrong foot.
I'll say the throws that he can make.
Tough angles. Yeah. The way that he can contort his body. See, that's athleticism to me. So while he doesn't always look smooth, he's still the dude.
That's why I tell people that Steph Curry's a good athlete.
Steph Curry's a fantastic athlete.
It's because it's athleticism is not just 40-time vertical jump. It's body control.
I think that's primary.
No, I agree. But we get confused because the combine. And listen, I love the combine. I'm a combine guy. But we get confused because of the things that measurable athleticism and, like you said, functional athleticism are different things. Because like body control is more important.
I played with one. I watched another that put up ridiculous measurables. And I'm not sure either would be classified as uber athletic. Jay Sims was one. Curtis Cotton was another. Curtis Cotton could run high 4.4s, low 4.5s. He's a big, strong, muscular built dude. He could jump out of this world. Explosive. Look like Adonis. Tremendous hard hitter. Love football. Smart IQ. What happened when it came to evaluating? Just change of direction. Just hip flexion, like the ability to control his body
control.
Jay Sims, a performance index record breaker at the University of Nebraska. Not made up numbers. He's a 4.4 guy. He was 219 pounds, 18 pounds. He was jumping 44 inches. He's a standing broad jumper. He's 11.2, 11.1. Listen, I'm telling you, freaky.
Yeah.
Could dunk with his eyes closed, 2 foot, 1 foot.
Yeah.
But you watch his movements and body control. It was like,
it's Taylor Mays. You remember Taylor Mays from USC?
That's my guy.
Couldn't move his hips.
One of the greatest arguments the other light-skinned guy and I had, Michael Severe, was over Taylor Mays.
You were pro or he was con? Or
I'm pro Taylor Mays.
Okay.
And Severe was like, DB can't move.
He can't move his hips.
So you know what I would say? My fallback.
Some of the greatest measurables of all time.
But I was like, nah, he's a traditional 2-deep guy. Like he's John Lynch. Like you got to just play him in the right system. Sure, no, Severe was right. Out of the league in 3 years. That's fine. I'm gonna win the Hufanga bet because I said Hufanga was way better than he gave him credit for. And the verdict is still out on Grant Delpit, who he said couldn't tackle, who I said I love.
Yeah.
Who still not sure who Grant Delpit is.
We'll
right? Okay, it's pending.
We'll see.
So I go back to this matchup, and Dallas is they're the poster childrens for front runners.
Yeah.
When they feel good and they're kind of smelling themselves,
they get rolled. They get on a roll a little bit.
They look amazing.
It snowballs for them,
right? Do you remember when they started the season undefeated? Like they went on that run and they're like, "Oh my God, this Dallas team is unbelievable."
It snowballs the other way too, though.
It can.
Yeah.
So which Dallas team are you getting? Because they're extremely capable, especially now that Hilton has become kind of a third clutch option. They get good tight end play. You're dynamic outside the numbers with Brown and Lamb.
So let me ask you this, though. How much stock do you put into, because I've heard a lot of people talk, oh, they got great momentum coming off the Tampa Bay win. How much stock do you put in one game momentum?
None.
That's what I thought. Because, and listen, Tampa Bay's not good.
Yeah, they were who they had been the second half of the season.
I'm
with you.
They told us who they were.
I'm with you.
And we didn't believe them.
I'm with you.
And we're like, oh, but Tom Brady. And I was in the same way because I was like, I don't feel great about going against Tom Brady in the playoffs, which I think is reasonable. But they were exactly who they showed themselves to be, right? So I think a lot of people are a little high on Dallas because of last week or earlier this week, I guess. But I don't know how much that should matter. When I look at it and see, man, San Francisco ain't Tampa Bay.
I get it.
That's a different thing. And I'll let you go here in a second. But the other thing that I look at that I haven't heard people talk about a ton here is the 49ers are on 2 full days of rest longer than Dallas.
Absolutely.
And when you're playing somebody that hits you like the 49ers do, I feel like that's going to matter.
Hey, Dallas brought that drama too, though, in Tampa.
They did, but it was against Tampa.
Listen, those guys were looking for a place to lay down.
They were.
Dallas brought funk.
You think anybody on the 49ers is going to be looking on a place to lay down?
And I understand. Listen, I get it. I totally get it.
That's my question is how much is that going to matter?
But you haven't talked about the X factor yet.
I'm listening.
It's Kellen Moore.
Sure.
It's how Dallas plays offensively in terms of their play call. That's the difference.
So you want to take Kellen Moore versus Kyle Shanahan.
And see, I asked this. Yes, this is funny.
I know because you're talking about McCarthy, but I'm talking about Moore.
You want to look at coaching in the NFL? You do.
You do.
But at this juncture in the season, man, good players help.
I understand, but does anybody put their players in better positions to succeed than Kyle Shanahan with this 49ers team?
Only Andy Reid right now.
Absolutely. And so that's where I look at it and say, okay, even if everything else is equal, which the defenses I don't think are.
Why is it only 3.5 though? That alone should scare you.
No, because it's Dallas.
Okay,
it's the public.
I'll buy it.
It's the public.
I'll buy it.
That's what I think it is because it started at 4.5. It got bet down to 3.5 because the public is stupid.
I'm just telling you, not outside of Kellen Moore, keep an eye on if Dallas tackles in the open field.
Well, that's everybody's got to do against the 49ers, though.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The McCaffrey in the open field, the Samuel in the open field,
Kittle.
Hey, how violent is that? I'm all in on Kittle.
I love Kittle. I love that whole I love that all their skill position players like to hurt you.
Dallas has the most nondescript best tight end in football. I'm telling you. You better find it. Tampa Bay found out too late. He had been that guy.
Yes.
And he's a brutal matchup.
Here's the thing that I think people don't give enough credit to with the 49ers physicality is, yes, their defense is physical. Their skill position players want to hurt you.
No, I know.
Debo wants to cause you physical pain.
Yeah.
Kittle likes running. Like, Kittle is so good when he doesn't even have the ball. Like, part of the reason their run game is so good is because they have a freak in Kittle who comes across the formation and just lights up whoever's supposed to have the read.
Keep an eye on Schultz, though. I'm telling you.
I get it. I do. I get it.
That's going to be monster eyeballs, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It's going to be a huge.
There's a reason it's slated where it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, I think they're talking about maybe the most highly viewed divisional game ever.
Yeah.
But, man, so Orlovsky on ESPN. I don't know if you're an Orlovsky guy.
I like Dan. He's unconventional and he's a little
quirky. He's a little quirky.
I like him.
But he does good. He presents good information.
I'm D.O.
He did like a 10-minute segment on the 49ers 21 personnel the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And I just don't even know what you do to defend that. Like, I have no idea how you stop it.
And so we talked about this the other day. This was in passing with my guy Chaz in SoCal. He likes to tweet out a bunch of Husker clips. And I was telling him the thing that makes that's why you match players and not formations. Because when the 49ers can break the huddle, you can think 21, you can think 12 with how they can use a fullback as an insert tight end with a traditional tight end. Or they could put them both in motion them out like slots and work it like 11. It's 21 people.
21 people, yeah.
But you can
it's
line
21
them up.
personnel.
Yeah, you
it's
can.
Not 21 formation.
Right.
And that's the crazy thing is because they'll put McCaffrey in the backfield or out wide.
That's what makes them hard.
They'll put Debo in the backfield or out wide or at tight end. They'll put Juszczyk wherever they want.
And look where they can put Kittle. In line, flex. They can put him outside the numbers.
They put him in like the X half the time. And and then they bring him across the formation. And then he just cracks whoever's trying to.
Remember once upon a time when people didn't think Kittle could block?
Dude. I think people are more scared of him as a blocker than they are a receiver. And they should be.
Yeah, he's legit. Shane, we got time? Yeah, we got time.
Oh, I don't know if you got time. I don't know. Is 5 minutes enough?
Let's go to my diehard Dallas fan here. Good morning, B. What's up?
Nothing, fellas. I'm starting to get a little angry at y'all talking about everybody going for the 49ers. I ain't really feel
I'm vouching for Dallas a little bit, though, B.
I'm a Niners guy, so I'm biased.
Let me rephrase that. In general, I am feeling comfortable, so I say, because I hear a lot of people going against the Cowboys, and I like it like that. Because I like when I hear it on TV from everybody or the radio, go with this team, because that's a sales job y'all doing for the bookies. All right, so y'all can go ahead and get everybody else
bookies
and lose their money.
Do I get a cut of that sales job? Do I get commission?
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, I know you don't know who's this dude next to you, Damon.
Ravi, you know Ravi.
Okay, yeah, Ravi.
What's up?
I know you don't know. You don't know. You don't remember 92. I feel like this is 92. We going back into Candlestick Park. We done lost 6 in a row, but you know how that turns out.
Is Troy Aikman playing this week? Is Emmett playing this week?
Hey, but your money could be playing.
Or
your money could be playing.
Is Dak playing this week who lost the 49ers in the playoffs last year?
Your money could be playing. I don't care about last year. Last year, you probably didn't know how to do something, but you know how to do it this year, though. Things change.
You care about 92, but you don't care about last year when the rosters are basically the same.
I care about the money in your pocket, too, because I hear you do a lot of talking, or even on the last radio station you was on. That's why you ain't on there right now. That's why you ain't on there. Making them obscene comments and stuff. I don't remember you because you like to talk a lot. I'm going to come looking for you. I know you ain't hard to find. Yeah.
I'm a distinct looking
I'll be
guy.
taking it this weekend.
Oh.
We're going with Dallas this weekend. We're going with Dallas, and and I'll get you a 92 shirt when we done, all right?
Bro, before we let you go, where are you watching the game? Are you a by-yourself guy?
By myself or in public, but the most time I just sit there in the house.
Okay.
But I got these kids to watch.
I ain't gonna tell Robbie the story you said about his son here. He's an equal opportunity offender. Be safe out there, man. Hey.
Have a nice weekend, fellas.
He was giving it to his oldest son the other day.
Yeah.
Mean-spirited over the Vikings being bad. He's that kind of guy.
They're not bad. They're just fraudulent.
Man, he's all in on his Cowboys.
I mean, he can be. That's fine.
Brian's my guy.
He's hilarious.
You
should, like, in real life, he's super easy going. Like, and he officiates.
Okay.
So he kind of has to be a little firm.
Yeah.
But is there a game you feel the safest about?
Ooh.
It doesn't even have to be. Do you want to go ATS or no?
Let's go straight up.
Okay. Is there a game you feel the safest about? Because I have mine lock stock.
I mean, this isn't fair straight up. Obviously, Kansas City, I feel the best about straight up.
You feel better about KC Jacksonville than you do Eagles Giants?
Straight up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen,
come on, man. I'm not saying it's impossible.
The Eagles will cover 10.5, not just 7.5.
No, I don't know what Jalen Hurts is right now.
The Eagles should be favored by more than Kansas City should be favored over Jacksonville.
I don't know what Jalen Hurts is right now. That's my concern. If he's healthy, I agree. If he's not, I don't know.
You know what Jalen Hurts is?
What's that?
A winner.
He is. If he's healthy.
He's a winner.
If he's healthy.
Spirited.
That's my question.
That's why I like Ravi.
Brian, we're at Hale Varsity Club. You can come hang out.
He's great. Woo! All right, we're gonna simmer down. I need everybody to calm down. Coffee and Cream coming back next.
Rogers and Benning will be back in 5 minutes. Rogers and Benning will be back in 4 minutes. Rogers and Benning will be back in 3 minutes. Rogers and Benning will be back in 2 minutes.
Check, check, check.
Rogers and Benning will be back in 1 minute. Rogers and Benning will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hail Varsity Radio.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes, man. God bless live radio. Welcome back to Coffee and Cream. My man Ravi Lulla turning the show on its ear.
What'd I do?
Live from the H&H Chevrolet studio. We are here. I'm not going to, you know what I almost said?
What's that?
We coming, but I'm not going to. Because this is not ODB and Ravi Lulla here for the Colorado Buffaloes. We are here for all the schools in the state of Nebraska.
That's right.
Some more than others.
Well,
if you cut both of us, we both would bleed red.
That's true.
We do like blue.
Man, I like a little blue in there. You know.
Your ring game is fantastic, by the
Thank
way.
you. This is a new one. I got this for Christmas.
What'd you do with the skull and that mean looking one?
No, it's not a skull. It's a pit bull.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it's a pit bull.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I got the dogs.
Because you like those angry dogs.
Man, they're not angry. They're babies.
Do you know what's been popping up on my For You page on TikTok
What's
other
that?
than recipes? Corsos. So I must have watched
Cane Corsos.
I must have been.
I know you're supposed to say Cane. I say Cane.
We must have talked about it too much or said it because it was once upon a time my dream dog.
Oh, I love a Cane Corso.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with those.
Dude, have you seen?
So they keep popping up on my For You page now. So I feel like I'm a Corso expert.
Have you seen my youngest? He's a mix, but he looks like a King. He's like an all black pit bull mix. He looks like a Cane Corso.
So when I first started with Twitter, Josh got me started like on a humbug. He just was like, we're building a Twitter account. I was like, no, don't do it. No, I can't do it without it, right? So it's like I used to have a picture of a Corso. And it was this place because I looked into it for a long time until I found out all the laws and stuff and muzzles and walking.
It's a whole thing.
And there's this place down in Georgia that is like the hub.
The place.
And this dog looks like a power lifter.
Oh, yeah.
I think his name was Brutus.
They're stacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the thing
and
about...
the dog looked amazing. And I was like, this is before you even think about... I'm irrational sometimes with that stuff. Right?
No.
This is before you think about kids, family, needing the yard, digging under your fence, like how much exercise they need. Could you really control them? Like all those things that matter.
Yeah. Just those little things.
I was like, nope, I just want one.
Dude, that's that's why you got to go the shelter route.
Yeah.
And you just find them that are, because they'll.
But don't you worry about temperament you're inheriting?
No, you get them as puppies. They've got these puppies at shelters, man.
Well, I understand you're born with some genetic sequencing, aren't you?
I mean, a little bit, but come on now. I'm a nurture over nature guy.
Oh.
With dogs. With dogs. I don't know about people yet. I'm still deciding.
Hey, I won't tell that to Brian.
I'm still deciding on some people. But no, man, like you get these dogs from the shelter.
Mm-hmm.
My dog looks like a Cane Corso, but he's a mix. And so none of the laws apply.
You have two, right? Or just one? You have four now?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, mix in some kids.
I will not. Hard pass. Immediately no.
So that's mutual. That's agreed upon.
100%.
So that's not an issue.
100%.
Oh, then do you?
Yeah, we have no interest in.
Get 26 of them then.
Well, no. 4 is, to be fair, too many. I'm going to be honest with you. 2 is the right number.
What's the age range?
So my oldest, I talk about them like they're kids. My oldest is 11 and a half. She's my OG. I've had her for 10 years.
Getting there.
Yeah, she probably doesn't have a ton of time left, but love her to death. And then the other 3 are boys, and they're a bunch of idiots. Love them. They're boy dogs are just happy dumb idiots. I love it. It's great.
Both my dogs are boys.
They're great. They're
males.
6, 4, and 2.
Are you a little iffy on that? Or?
Well, I got to remember the ages. I don't remember ages real well.
Who you, like, Antonio Cromartie?
I have no. I mean, kind of with the dogs a little bit. I have no idea how old my nieces and nephews are. I just have no idea. I know they are school aged.
Yeah.
And they can't drive yet. That's all I know.
All inclusive?
That's all I know.
Do you see them a lot?
No, I try not to.
Then why would you? Then why would you know their age?
Hey, it's Ravi Lulla here for Coffee and Cream for joy.
No, here's
and comfort in the morning. Not really.
They're good kids. I like my brother's cool. I like my brother. I like his wife. I'm just not a big kids guy.
Yeah, it's fair.
And so, like, kids can be a tough hang.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not yours. Right? And so, like, if I'm choosing to spend time with people,
these poor people that have never heard you before this morning are probably like, what?
Yeah, they're spitting coffee out. But no, I mean, kids can be like, if you're
Sauter's over there just shaking his head. And when you get Sauter to shake his head, you probably said some crazy things.
I mean, if I'm choosing to spend time with people, we've hung out before. You know, I'm like you. I'm a little choosy.
Yeah, for sure.
And listen, kids do not make the cut.
But low maintenance, though. I was a little surprised.
Really?
You talked a lot less out.
Sure.
Than Like we would just
if it was you and me, because we were in a group.
Yeah.
And a lot of those were your dudes. So I wasn't trying to like steal your time or whatever.
Well, there was only one in particular.
Well, yeah. But like there were some of your people there.
I wouldn't call Verzal like my dude.
Oh, come on. Whatever. Nobody buys that.
Just happened to be his establishment.
Nobody buys
now,
that.
Will Height, that was my dude.
Yeah, but if you're like hanging out, if I'm in a group,
yeah,
and like I'm not gonna like steal somebody's time.
Yeah, that was cool.
If they're hanging out, if it was like you and me hanging out, it'd be like this.
We'd be talking about
it would literally just be like this, right?
Couple minutes.
But I try and be respectful of other people's time, and I'm just chill.
He said kids are a tough hang.
No, dude, they are. Kids are a tough hang. And so, what I do, I buy their affection. I buy them like one really, because I don't know when their birthdays are. So I buy them one really nice Christmas present a year. Like I bought them a basketball hoop this year. Not like a Fisher Price, like a whole ass basketball hoop.
Are you listening to this?
See, right? See, I hacked it, right? So here's the thing. No, here's what I do. So when I go hang out with my brother, I go about 15 minutes before bedtime.
Yeah.
So that they see me, they're thrilled to death, and I don't have to hang out with them for more than about 15 minutes. And then me and my brother go hang and do whatever. And then I buy them one really nice present on Christmas, because that way I don't have to remember birthdays. And they are thrilled to death about it.
Oh,
and then here's the best part. If I ever show up to anything, they lose their minds. They're so excited to see Uncle
Robbie. They only get you in small doses.
Because they love me, but I don't oversaturate the market.
Because you're like, nobody wants to be around me for that long.
Well,
I'm going to give you small doses.
Some people do. Shout out to my wife, the second one. But but I don't want to be around kids that much. And it's not anything with the kids. It's like all kids. I'm an equal opportunity, do not want to hang out.
Should we put that on a t-shirt?
I'm out on kids. Kids are a tough hang.
With Robbie quotes. Hey, shout out to my wife, the second one. Who says that?
Another one.
Sauter's over here like.
Well, to be fair, I mean, the first one did not want to hang out with me that much, so that's why there is a second one.
Oh, I understand. Speaking of which, of this train wreck of a segment,
I thought this was a great segment.
If it happens to be your vehicle, make sure you go see the fine folks at Dingman's. They got 4 great locations, a ton of range in which they can help you fix. Family owned and operated. You folks that have heard me for a while know my affinity for locally owned and operated, and Dingman's definitely makes the cut. They worked on my very first vehicle, which, Ravi, was a Mazda 626.
Okay.
And Shane let me know. He did a little Googling. They stopped making it in 2002. So that was a long, long time ago. But if you're just looking for kind of great customer service and pretty good conversationalist too, it doesn't have to be something major. Sometimes it could be a paint job, a little boo-boo, a fender bender. Shane was trying to talk him into changing his tire, and I was like, it's probably pushing it a little bit. Not doing the whole mechanic thing.
Those 626,
yeah,
the first phase of those,
yeah,
in the early 70s, those was a sweet car.
Yeah, I wasn't driving in the 70s. What do those look like?
They look pretty nice.
Did they?
Yeah. I mean, the one you were driving looks like road trash now.
Whoa, shots fired, Shano.
Says the guy that's out there rolling in a vehicle with 207,000 miles on it.
It happens.
That's a lot of miles.
That's about right, Shane?
No, not that much.
I have like
190.
No, not that much.
Yes, it is.
138.
38?
Yeah, 138.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's pretty good, actually.
I got like 27,000.
It's not good.
I got to get a new one.
Yeah, so go see the fine folks at Dingman's. Oh my goodness, Ravi. My text messages.
Yeah,
it's almost like people have never heard us do shows together over the last X amount of years.
It's been a minute.
Did you guys forget he's nuts? That's not new.
I don't know about nuts. I prefer eccentric.
Speaking of which, the guy that wears 2834s covers high school sports better than anybody. Who is trying not to be taken down on a mat in less than a minute is Michael Jerome Sautter. He's Jerome today, by the way. Coming up next on Coffee and Cream in the Morning.
Rogers and Benning will be back in 4 minutes. Rogers and Benning will be back in 3 minutes. Rogers and Benning will be back in 2 minutes. Rogers and Benning will be back in 1 minute. Rogers and Benning will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hail Varsity Radio. This segment with Mike Sautter is presented by Awaken Men's Health.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Mike Sautter.
I would agree, Damon.
Mike Sautter.
Yeah.
Mike Sautter.
Oh, man, you're going to put me on the spot.
Mike Sautter.
As we welcome in Michael Jerome Sautter.
Jerome is actually.
All right, you got to turn down the volume on your computer, my guy. It's your first rodeo. Well, he did that to us last week, and he thinks that we're the ones messing up. Can we turn down your? Is it turned down?
I think
for
you got to
what?
mute your guy.
5 and down, and everybody shout, 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 shout. Turn down for what? Are you good now?
I think we're good.
Oh, good morning. How are you?
Can't hear myself. There
we go.
Oh, hey.
Hey, so
good morning.
I just have to get this out of the way.
Okay.
Right, because everybody apparently on social media,
they're unfamiliar with my work.
But this is what happens when you and I get together.
It's
it doesn't matter. I mean, this is just how we talk to one another because, it's just what it is.
Just who we are.
Right? Like, and Sautter is in the corner. Now, mind you, happily married with 2 little cutie pies at home, minding his own business.
Wasn't playing it on the first one.
Wow.
Second one playing.
Trying to get divorced, apparently. Utters in the corner. This is after you say, Mr. T-shirt, shout out to my wife.
The second one.
The second one, and kids are a tough hang.
But what he responded to was,
The buying of affection.
I buy my nieces and nephews affection.
So Sautter, if you're watching on the stream, just succinctly shrugs and is like, I do the same thing.
He said, I do that with my own kids.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, not every day.
Just most of the time.
Just Wednesdays and whenever my wife has to be somewhere for a very long time. Most Wednesdays, because we have early out school day.
Okay.
And Wednesdays we find something to do.
I used to think that early out that was just unique to our district, but it's not.
It's the worst.
Yeah. What do you mean? More time with your kids?
No.
He's like, that's exactly what I mean. It's the worst.
I don't mean that. Well,
you a little bit mean that.
Wow.
It's like right in the middle of the day. And we don't do after school care stuff. So I'm the one that normally picks them up from school.
I'm in the same boat when
and
it's not
like,
football season.
Man, it just crushes your work day just stops at like 1:30.
Wow.
In the afternoon. And I'm like, what happened at 3:30? You know?
And all these kids need to learn? Come on.
Yeah. Teach them up.
Oh.
What's that?
Teach them up.
I don't know. Is that what you're supposed to say?
Yeah, it's about education, right?
Can you say that?
Okay.
Maybe I need to go to Awaken Men's Health because
if you find yourself a little crabby and a little bitter, you may need what? Michael?
Awaken Men's Health because they can ship medications directly to your house, or you can pick it up at your local pharmacy. It's also, symptoms of low testosterone, which I don't know if I've had any of these. Are fatigue, loss of muscle mass and strength, poor sleep, brain fog, low libido, weight gain, and more. I know that Ravi Lulla, if you've ever seen him in person, he don't have any problem with any of that. Because he's like He-Man out here. And Awaken Men's Health has 4 different locations across the state.
Okay, I'm still trying to keep my job, so I just want to know, what is it about you two being with me that puts me in this sort of situation?
I'm just gonna be honest. I think we bring out the real DB.
This
is like
I'm fully entertained by.
I think this is like genuine, like authentic DB.
It's like
this isn't radio DB.
It's funny though. It's like I can't even believe some of the stuff I'm hearing. You had out of breath Brian wanting to come see you over the Niners Cowboys.
He can
come find out. It's fine.
Ravi had a point though. 1992.
It's 30 years ago. Who cares?
Yeah.
Wow. This is what we're
like
on.
Last year was more
the Jets
relevant.
won 1 Super Bowl ever, and I'm still hanging on that. And I
but you're not like if they were.
I wasn't born.
But if you
got gray hair,
if they were in the playoffs, you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, but back when Namath was around.
Nah, I wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. That was my point. No. Like unless Michael Irvin's coming out, or Irvin's coming out and, doing his thing. Emmitt Smith out there. I don't think so.
Maybe they can pan the camera to the box where
Larry Allen kind of come
where Jerry Jones is, and we can watch hugs and high fives. Like, was that part of the broadcast?
That was weird.
It's always weird.
They love showing Jerry Jones.
Well, they don't know who he's going to hug or kiss. It could be that. Never mind.
Speaking of Joe Namath, I mean, trying to kiss
I was just...
I don't even.
What's up, DB?
Okay.
What's up, DB?
Hey, so basketball game last night.
I don't even recognize what we're doing.
It's a radio show.
Kinda.
Well, mostly.
It's true. I mean, come on.
I don't either, Doc. I don't either.
Can we talk? First of all, can we talk about wrestling real quick? Last night.
Oh, Ravi, have you seen the promo?
Which promo?
With Mike Sautter and Chuck Mulligan.
Oh, I've seen the showdown thing, like the banner.
Yeah,
so did you see Chuck's little workout with him doing the pull-ups? And
so you were telling me about this earlier, and then I'm going to be honest, it's less about the pull-ups and more about the fact you told me that Sautter rolled his ankle in a controlled environment, just like flat floor, just chilling, walking, and rolled an ankle.
Yes, he did.
It's very true.
It causes some questions for me about his overall current athletic state.
So
it ain't great.
So I'm gonna lean. I don't. What's the name? Chuck. I don't know Chuck at all.
He's short.
Based on short works for you in wrestling too.
Leverage matters.
And Mike did used to wrestle.
That's fine. But if he's rolling ankles just walking down the hallway, I feel like the wrestling days were a long time ago.
So it's to be taken down in less than a minute.
So the only rule is that Chuck can't take me down. I don't think Chuck can take me down in a period. So 2 minutes.
Okay.
And I don't have to try and take him down.
You just have to survive the 2 minutes.
Yeah, basically, without being taken down.
They're recording this at Central.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Wednesday.
fantastic.
See that?
The 25th,
you might be able to avoid that. But if you roll your ankle on the mat without any help, that, it's just takedown right there.
I suppose we should get to some high school, man.
Yeah. So while we're on wrestling, there was a big sort not upset, but big match last night. Papillion La Vista, Durden from Papillion La Vista beat Ekdal in ultimate tiebreaker, so rode him out, which is something. And number 1 versus number 2 in their weight class and stuff like that. So that was a big matchup.
They're going to be going back. They're going to be going back and forth.
They went back and forth. So Ekdal beat him at Metros, and then he survived him last night. So
that's how I feel about Stewart.
Tyler,
with Monarchs. Like there's something about that matchup that is not easy for Ty Stewart from Omaha North.
You seen that dude's tattoos from Papillion on his leg?
Yeah.
It's different.
Not a leg tattoo guy.
Anyway, go ahead.
Personally.
Gretna Bellevue West last night didn't shoot it well. It was a grudger. But Gretna shows when they can control tempo, they're tough.
Yeah, we've said this so much before about Gretna basketball, but Brad Feakin and Bill Hurd can really coach.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it last week, Coach Hurd literally calling the defense as it's happening, like in the middle of the game and switching it up and doing all that stuff. I mean, he is a wizard.
And that's two good assistants too, because Coach Klein with Bellevue West.
Yeah,
like I love Bellevue West assistant coaching staff.
Really
too.
Coached well. I will say if I had to say complain or something, I guess, is Pekorski was killing them, right, for Gretna last night. And he had 21 points, led game high 21 in the game. And for my money, Jaden Jackson's the best on-ball defender on Bellevue West team, and I think everyone pretty much agrees. And it was either Gretna did a really good job because Bellevue West just switches everything all the time.
They did
and
that.
It was like NBA, like high ball screen, and we're gonna get a switch on the big.
They set it up on purpose. They did it to Westside the other night. They got Caleb off Pekorski 80% of the time.
They just
use the ball screen.
Yeah, just so good about it. And the couple times Jackson did guard him, it worked out well. So it's just some of those things. It's just how you play. But man, neither team shot it well. It just felt real kind of clunky. And that clearly was Gretna's game plan to win against Bellevue West. You have to kind of slow the pace.
We got to go rapid fire because we've only got you for a couple more minutes, unless we morning dump with you too. Gretna clearly number 2,
I think at this point,
more to see.
Yeah, I think Gretna is clearly the 2 at this point.
And then 3, 4, 5, put them in a hat.
Yeah.
Listen, watch this, because we heard Coach Luedtke say this earlier. More difficult to figure out 3, 4, 5 between Prep, Westside, and Millard North, or who's the best team in Lincoln? Which one's
Lincoln.
tougher?
Yeah, the Lincoln one's the toughest. I mean, Pius now has beaten Southwest twice. Lincoln High's lost 2, 3 in a row, or 3 of their last 4, something like that, after winning the hack. Southeast is hovering around 500, and Southeast beats Lincoln High last night. It is a toss-up with anybody. North Star in there, Northeast in there. Lincoln, any given night, any one of those 6 teams, 7 teams, whatever, can beat each other.
Did you have a great takeaway from Metro Wrestling?
Just how dominant Millard South is.
Up and down the line.
It is unbelievable. And then I was there Tuesday to watch them duel Lincoln East. And Lincoln East is clearly, I think, the number 2 team in the state. I think people feel like maybe, Norfolk Papillion have a conversation there. And it wasn't. It wasn't close.
Does anybody that's not wrestling at the collegiate level have better hips than Adams from Millard South?
No, he's a phenom.
The way that he can contort his body, and it's almost like he has no bones.
Yeah, no, he's
unbelievable in terms of what he can do with his body.
Real quick, he was down. He did a cartwheel thing and reversed it, and I'm like, what is going on?
Silly. kind of like this segment.
Yeah.
Sautter will stick around for the morning dump. We're back. Coffee and Cream.